Vice President Kashim Shettima arrives Davos, Switzerland for 2025 World Economic Forum. Donald Trump breaks more than 120-year-old jinx to return to the White House as United States President. Federal government fine-tunes exploring potentials of voluntary carbon market. Hello and welcome to the late evening news at 11 on NTN News 24. Reaching you live from Abuja, I am Nolin Ebel Ame with the news. Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived in Davos, Switzerland, where he is representing Nigeria at the 2025 annual meeting of the World Economic Forum. The meeting brings together global leaders, business executives, and development partners to address global and national economic challenges and identify strategies for sustainable growth. At the forum, Vice President Shettima will participate in bilateral meetings and discussions aimed at advancing Nigeria's economic opportunities and addressing global risk. A notable event on the Vice President's schedule is a workshop titled Roadmap to Co-Create Investment Opportunities for Africa's Frontier Markets, organized by the African Development Bank AFDB in collaboration with the WEF. One of the major highlights of the Vice President's engagement will be the launch of the Humanitarian and Resilience Investing Roadmap for Africa, a collaborative effort between the AFDB and other partners. The initiative aims to foster public-private partnership and attract investment into Africa's emerging markets. In addition, the Vice President will co-chair a forum on turning digital trade into a catalyst for growth in Africa at the Pischa Congress Center. The forum will provide insights into leveraging the private sector to accelerate the implementation of the AFCFTA Digital Trade Protocol, a framework adopted by African Union leaders in January 2024. Vice President Shettima is also scheduled to attend the annual meeting 2025 Crystal Awards dinner for heads of states, government officials, and international organizations at Kurpak Village, Iga. Another key engagement is his participation as a panelist in a session titled Global Risk 2025, which will take place at the Aspen II Congress Center. This dialogue will explore critical geopolitical, technological, and environmental risks shaping the global landscape. In other news, Nigeria and Egypt have reached a partnership agreement focused on food production, water management, and climate adaptation in crop cultivation. This development was highlighted during the Egypt-Nigeria Business Forum held in Cairo. The Nigerian delegation was led by Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga, who attended alongside Agriculture Minister Abubakar Kyari and the Minister of Water Resources, both of whom presented at the forum. Abubakar Kyari, Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, emphasized that the discussions underscored the importance of technical collaboration and knowledge exchange between Nigeria and Egypt. He noted that Egypt's expertise in crop and livestock production, food technology, and water resources management offers valuable opportunities for Nigeria to learn and adapt. The minister announced that both countries have agreed to form technical teams to initiate joint projects supported by their respective governments and private sectors. Furthermore, Nigeria and Egypt signed an agreement to establish a comprehensive partnership aimed at combating terrorism and extremism while promoting peace and sustainable development across Africa. Foreign Affairs Minister Ambassador Yusuf Tuga welcomed the proposal to establish a Nigeria-Egypt Chamber of Commerce by 2025, which he believes will enhance trade and investment opportunities between the two countries, particularly in agriculture, a vital sector of Nigeria's economy. Elsewhere, implementation has started on the agreement signed by Nigeria and France in December 2024 in Paris. Minister of Solid Minerals Development Dele Alake expressed delight for the implementation with the provision of advanced technological equipment and funding for the exploration of geological data for the Nigeria Geological Survey Agency. The minister and France's interministerial delegate for strategic minerals, Benjamin Gazelot, met at the Future Minerals Forum in Saudi Arabia, where they fine-tuned details of the cadastral sector agreement. Dele Alake observed that adopting modern mining practices using cutting-edge technology was the way to go for the Nigerian mining sector. The French minister, on his part, announced that a list of interested French mining companies would be forwarded to Nigeria, as Nigeria sets to also benefit from funds being managed by France to build the capacity of geologists and laboratories in Africa. 1,000 geologists from Africa have already benefited from similar partnerships. In other news, the first shipment from Nigeria under the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, has successfully arrived at the Mombasa port in Kenya. The Nigeria AFCFTA Coordination Office, in line with its mandate under the leadership of Mr. Olusegun Awolowo, coordinated the landmark event, which marks a significant milestone for Nigeria in realizing the vision of increased intra-African trade and economic integration championed by the AFCFTA. A statement by Olusegun Olutayo, a senior trade expert at the Nigeria-Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement Coordination Office, says AFCFTA presents a perfect opportunity for Africa to leverage trade as a strategic instrument for enhanced market access among state parties. He says the first consignment, which is a synthetic filament product of Nigeria's Lucky Fibers Limited, Lush, a subsidiary of the Tolaram Group, was exported under AFCFTA preferential terms. Olutayo also praised the bold economic reforms of President Bola Tinubu, emphasizing their catalytic role in enabling Nigeria's active participation in AFCFTA, fostering continental economic integration and industrialization goals. He also commended the seamless cooperation and commitment from Kenyan authorities, which he says exemplifies the true spirit of AFCFTA. In the U.S., Donald Trump returns to the White House as the 47th President of the United States for a second term. President Donald Trump, the Republican ticket bearer, was declared winner in the November 5th, 2024 general election. Framapani reports that the inauguration for the first time was done inside the Capitol.
It was yet another momentous occasion for the United States as the 47th elected president assumed his responsibilities.
The President-elect of the United States,
Chief Justice John Roberts of the Supreme Court, administered the oath of office.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States
the office of President of the United States.
Buoyed by his historic political comeback, the billionaire Republican displayed no inclination to temper the bombastic style that previously shook the nation. He announced plans to begin his administration by issuing executive orders aimed at fulfilling his campaign promise.
The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
The inauguration was attended by former presidents of the United States and various world leaders.
I elected him because, he is a fighter and he didn't give up.
His border policy, I think, is out of the two candidates, I think he was the best. So, yeah.
In 2021, Joe Biden succeeded Donald Trump, and 4 years later, Biden passed the torch back to Trump. Frama Pani, NTA News.
And back home, the House of Representatives is advocating increased budgetary allocation to the Bureau for Public Procurement to enhance the agency's capacity to deliver foolproof public procurement process in Nigeria. At the Bureau's budget defense before the House Committee on Public Procurement, lawmakers described BPP's 2025 budget ceiling of 3.3 billion naira as a far cry from its proposal of 72.7 billion naira needed to revolutionize the procurement process and regulate more 800 ministries, departments and agencies of government.
We have carried out significant procurement audits. Some of them are dated back, which means some offenses have been committed. But because it was delayed, lack of funds made us not to be able to carry out these activities real time. So we have increased significantly our vote for audit and surveillance to enable us give you real time information that will help you to ask questions.
As a committee, we are mindful of the paucity of funds, the ceiling that is being imposed on your agency, and we are going to do something about that. I want to assure you that what you have seen that is before us is not the budget, it's a budget proposal. So we are going to engage with the committee in charge of appropriation to ensure that those inadequacies in terms of funding will be properly addressed.
The BPP says it is working on delivering an electronic procurement process and enhanced audit systems to promote transparency and good governance. In a similar news, the House of Representatives Committee on Navy say it is in favor of an upward review of the budgetary allocations to the Nigerian Navy, considering its strategic role in protection of the nation's maritime environment and revenues. At a budget defense session with the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, lawmakers, however, served notice of robust oversight of naval platforms in the country to ensure judicious use of budgetary allocations.
Even maintain the level of presence that we have at sea in terms of procurement of AGO and other petroleum, oil and lubricants is about 81 billion. And of course, this is even higher than the whole of our overhead cost. So we are requesting if the committee can intervene in this area to see how we can bring up this overhead, because when you have platforms and you have ships and you have personnel and you do not have the enablers, you don't have fuel, then it's as good as not having those platforms.
We have seen platform that survive in water, 24 hours being run by diesel, we know, as put together by the Chief of the Naval Staff, the overheads of the Nigerian Navy need to be adjusted upward to ensure that all those valuable assets that are being purchased for the economic survival of this country really survive without any suffocation.
At another budget defense session involving agencies under the Office of the National Security Advisor, members of the House Committee on National Security and Intelligence pointed out that intelligence gathering is a critical component of the security sector, which require increased funding.
Agencies to work optimally in order to deliver on their critical mandates.
In 2025, we propose to focus on key areas such as enhanced coordination and collaboration among the securities in order to strengthen partnership with other agencies to foster a more cohesive and responsive security architecture.
If you just joined us, this is the late evening news at 11. We will pause here for a break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on the news on NTA News 24. Now, in line with the directive of President Bola Tinubu for the swift transfer of victims of the Suleja fuel tanker explosion to tertiary medical centers for enhanced medical attention, 20 patients have been admitted to Gwagwalada Specialist Hospital in Abuja and 2 additional patients transferred to the Federal Medical Center, Jabi, Abuja. A statement by the Special Assistant Media to the Minister of Information and National Orientation says all the patients were accompanied by a nurse and family members to the designated referral centers to ensure seamless care. The statement equally conveyed that the Niger State government has expressed gratitude to the federal government for its prompt and effective response to the unfortunate incident. The Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, be added, will continue to monitor the situation closely and provide timely updates to Nigerians. Carbon market stakeholders are gearing up to occupy their pride of place in the global market with the operationalization of Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, which was one of the greatest achievements of COP29. Mina Daniels reports that though the stakes are high, carbon market actors are not laying down their guards either in repositioning to harness the potentials.
Voluntary Carbon Market, VCM, which is a decentralized market where buying and selling of carbon credits to offset greenhouse gas emissions take place, is valued at $2 billion as of 2021, with a potential value for Africa alone put at $1.5 trillion by 2050. To harness potential benefits of carbon market in Nigeria, it is critical to advance knowledge among stakeholders and local actors to clear grey areas and maximize gains. Hence this interaction set up by Resource and Environmental Policy Research Center, Environment for Development Initiative Nigeria, University of Nigeria and Nsukka, with support of the National Council on Climate Change.
We want to find out, talking with the actors, those involved in this, we want to find out the problem. We want to understand the challenges. We want to, based on that, we can map the actors, map the challenges, and do policy work with the, you can see we're working with the NCCC. That will guide what the NCCC is doing in the process, so as to grow carbon market.
With the regulatory frameworks like the Climate Change Act and other policies in place, which brings credibility to the voluntary carbon market, stakeholders believe the coast is clear to...
That's why this research undertaken by the University of Nsukka is very key. It gives us that baseline understanding. Where is Nigeria with regards to the voluntary carbon market? As you know, we have the carbon market policy that we've developed and is currently being reviewed by the different ministries.
Clean cooking carbon offset can solve a lot of problems, but most importantly, the enabling environment have to be created so that the private sector can thrive. As I've told you, my experience is from Ghana. I know Ghana is making over almost $1 billion.
Participants to the one-day seminar include Acting Vice Chancellor, University of Nigeria and Nsukka, who is represented, National Council for Climate Change, and major stakeholders in the energy, agriculture, and water management sectors. In Abuja, Mina Daniels.
Improving quality of products to meet consumers' confidence both within and outside Nigeria remains the focus of the Standard Organization of Nigeria. Regional Director, North Central of the organization, Dr. Marlene Waziri, stressed the point at a regional meeting held in Lokoja, the Kogi state capital. Jacob Sani's report is hereby presented.
These personalities here are coordinators of Standards Organization of Nigeria within the North Central zone of the country. In their respective states, they are to ensure quality of all products, to be in line with international best practices and to maintain constant improvement. From here, they will learn new ways of product identification scheme in preparation for the African Continental Free Trade Area, which demands that small and medium-scale enterprise must have the mandatory conformity assessment program to be admitted into the flagship initiative of the African Union.
The state coordinators to do after the meeting is to go back, because we are going to come up with a strategy that will assist them.
The 9 state coordinators that make up the North Central region are expected to review their mode of sensitization on improving life through standards.
This meeting is just to review so far what we have done and how we can put improvement concerning our mandate to Nigeria.
It is therefore expected that the core values of expertise, discipline, integrity, customer focus and teamwork of Standards Organization of Nigeria will remain the guiding principles.
And talking security, Nigerian Army's annual interaction by 717 Battalion has been completed in Daura, Katsina State, in a grand celebration of the Nigeria's rich cultural heritage. Hussein Suleiman was there and now reports.
2025 WhatsApp parade. May I have a permission to comply, sir?
Showcase of forces' strengths in promotion of unity, civil-military relationship is the purpose of this annual socio-cultural event.
Horse riders, please put your hands together for them.
The event also featured a display on strategic veteran administrations, endurance and maintenance of good rapport among both serving and retired military personnel.
You can all see the atmosphere show how important this battalion is to, and how cordial and synergy to other security agencies.
The military has consistently emphasized the importance of seeking knowledge. The presence of the military has significantly reduced community clashes. Besides culture as a showcase, the annual event is providing an atmosphere for the promotion of understanding and cooperation between personnel, their families, and local communities, which has ended with presentation of gifts for outstanding performance. In Daura, Hussein Suleiman, NTA News.
Hussein Suleiman's story from Daura concludes the late evening news on NTA News 24. Thank you for watching. I am Nolene Ebel Ame.